Well, hey, rail fans and model railroaders. Welcome back to another episode of Getting Back on Track with Steve
and Roxy. So last time, we painted in the distant mountains, and then Dad added a haze over the mountains that pushed them even further into the backdrop.
So as you can tell from all this paint we got sitting here in the layout, today we're going to go ahead and get after and finishing up that backdrop by adding the near mountains and doing some more cloud work.
So with that being said, let's get this work done.
Okay, for the next phase of the painting of the backdrop is we need to put the more close-in hills in there. Now we want to make sure we don't want to go way up high. These are low-lying hills, so we're going to kind of mark a line and make some spots where we think about we want to go to. Nothing peaky, kind of rolly hill. And we're going to come all the way around and get higher in this area and cover into the railroad area. So let's go ahead and mark some lines in. So just say we're starting in like right in here and slowly working our way up. And I'm just gonna little dash marks about what we want. So I think that should get us pretty good. So the paint we're gonna use, again, is the same brand. It's just a latex interior paint. And this is called Cottage Door. So you can see when it dries, it'll be the color about like this, nice contrast in there. So it should work out pretty good. And to apply it, we're gonna apply it just with a sponge. Now, because they're near hills, we wanna be able to replicate what it looks like at a distance, trees along the tops of these mountains. And a sponge will give us that effect. So I've cut two sponges, one in kind of a circular pattern. And these are sponges that, a regular car washing or bathing sponge. It's got a lot of holes in it and stuff. So I cut one kind of a square, and I got another one a triangle. So we're gonna come in, I want to put a little bit of paint on here, and we're going to find our spot, and we're just going to dab it on in. And sometimes you'll be using just the upper part, just the point on here, because we want to create the illusion of some treetops here. And we'll be coming back with a brush and fixing some of these areas where it's kind of disconnected looking. So this is going to take us a little longer than the other stuff we did, but I think the effect's going to be pretty doggone good. And we'll just go a little heavier to cover the main part. You could actually do that with this bigger piece, might be a little quicker to do that way. Yeah, that's a little faster with this one. You want to make sure you get good coverage. You don't want any of the sky shining through in this area. And we'll get down pretty close to the layout ledge down here, because we'll be coming back and we'll be painting up on here at the edge where we got our layout board. Okay, so once you got this, you can see this looks kind of like some trees, but you got areas where you got little holes and stuff that didn't look quite right. We're going to take a small brush. We'll come back and we're going to just fix up some of these areas. And the effect when we're done should look like some pine trees or whatnot all sticking up here. So as you can see, these look like at a distance, it'll look like trees just standing up on the crest of the mountain. So we got a ways to go. So we're gonna go ahead and just continue on. We're gonna dab on with that sponge. We'll come back with the brush and fix the areas along the top. We'll go on all the way around. So come join us while we get this work done. So now we have our far mountain, our near mountains, and we got some hazy stuff. We're gonna go ahead and put some other fluffy clouds on inside. The way I'm gonna do is I'm using a brush like this type, and I'm just almost a dry brush. I'm getting some on here and just wiping it. I'm just gonna put it on here and just kind of rub it in. And we're gonna rub it a whole bunch of times. And it gets that fluffier look to it. Here we get our general shape going here. All right, it's supposed to look like a cloud. Who knows? So we really struggled with trying to do this part. We watched a lot of guys' videos on this, and they make it look pretty doggone easy, but we found it to be really hard to do. But I found that the less paint you got on the brush, it seems to work a little better. Of course, you know, you can go along and do what you think looks right and everything. If it isn't right, yeah, you can always go back and paint over it and start over. So we're gonna go ahead and go to work. We're gonna try and get all these clouds put in place, get some layering effects going, and who knows, maybe they'll come out looking pretty good for us. If not, we'll just paint it over again. So you can see down in this area here is where we're trying different techniques, trying to figure out how to paint a cloud. And you can see we had a tough time with it. But not to worry, this area here, it'll eventually be covered by mountains going down to the gorge over here. There's going to be a mountain here with a tunnel running. So all of this over like this will be covered over. So we figured this is a good place to practice at. And I think the techniques we figured out are going to be working pretty good, and they look really good on camera, I think. So we'll just paint a few more. We don't, it's a fairly clear day, and there's some haze and stuff going on. Well, there you go. We got in there, we put those near mountains in. I got to tell you, they look spectacular to me. I love the little peaks where you can see the trees sticking up. And then it really made those far hills look pretty distant. But then the clouds, now, we struggled with that a bit. But I think in the end, we come up with a system that's worked pretty good. And it looks pretty nice. It's really good to see changes, and it makes a huge difference in this layout. So again, this is a big shout out from Medellin Falls Railroad. Great tutorials, great videos, great channel. The guy is a fantastic modeler, and you really need to get over and check his channel out. But in the meantime, you guys have a good time running your trains, working on your model railroads. And we'll see you back here again next time on Getting Back with Track with Steve and Roxy. Bye, guys.